William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I just want to thank everybody for being here this morning. Obviously, it is a different morning than normal when we have these meetings, and there's a lot going on. Our hearts are heavy, and so we're going to kind of talk through this a little bit today, along with our normal stuff. We're going to kind of try to keep it normal, but it won't be completely normal today. Just so you know, we're going to stop at 11:30 so that those that want to can go attend the prayer vigil in Thanksgiving Square. So we are going to stop a little early today. What we do normally is we just kind of open by going around the room and introducing ourselves and why we're here, who we represent, who we're an agency. So I'll start. My name is Ryan Dawson, and I'm one of the co-chairs of this every month, and I'm with Turning Point Church.
Claire Nelson, former board member and homeless advocate.
I'm Britton Donowski. I serve on the Metro Dallas Homeless Alliance board.
Metro Dallas Homeless Alliance and Coordinated Assessment.
David Gruber, I'm also with Metro Dallas Homeless Alliance.
Robert was advertised, publicized on
My name is Bob Wright. I'm the Dallas Homeless Commission.
I'm Casey McMahon, and I'm the Homeless Commission and a director at the Bridge.
Steve Davis, I'm on the Homeless Commission in Multi with City Square.
My name is Christopher Hallway. I am definitely a community advocate and very passionate about this. And I in fact been homeless, and in fact I was meeting with two reporters here today, and they're doing their thing with us more serious issues. But my problem is I live in Kansas City, and in the second city in the state of I have a business day, but I always come back because I love people out there, and I want to hear their stories. And one here just didn't do some pay attention of that.
Thank you.
I'm Dino. I'm currently active participant with Destination Home, City Square, homeless activist.
I'm Ken Mobo. I'm the director of Medicare Housing, and I'm on the Homelessness Commission.
Ben Calloway, I'm the care coordinator at HR, and I work with homeless HIV and AIDS.
Morning. You want to introduce yourself?
There's John Callahan.
All right, good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Saturday in Dallas.
Well, Mr. Eddie.
Eddie Jr., homeless veteran.
Again, thank everybody for being here. We did have a few things scheduled, and so we're going to kind of do that today. We had the Dallas Commission of Homelessness was someone was going to be here and speak and lead a discussion on that. She was not able to come, but Britton has agreed to come in and give some of the information and just share, and then we'll open it up for questions. Also, I know we have a survey here that was brought, so do you want to pass that around? You want me to pass that around now? I can do that while he's... Okay. Britton, if you want to come on up. And you can kind of halfway use the mic like I'm using it, I guess.
Thank you very much. So as he said, my name is Britton Benoski. I'm actually on the MDHA board, Metro Dallas Homeless Alliance board, but I also am chair of the Dallas Homeless Commission, which was recently formed by the mayor and the city council and the county in order to focus on longer-term solutions to our homelessness issues here in Dallas. So it's particularly great for us to be able to interact with you today because obviously your voice is important, and I know it's a sad day, and I understand the reasons for us not doing this in a more formal way like we had planned. But I think we can have maybe as productive a conversation informally as we had planned to do formally, because several of our commission members are here, and so they can certainly provide input if asked, but also be good listeners and take the feedback that we receive and fold it into our ongoing work. So Steve is on the commission, Ken is on the commission, Casey is a commission member, and Barbara Wright is here. So we have, I think, a pretty good group. Why don't I just talk a little bit about our work, what we're trying to get accomplished, and kind of where we are in the work, and then open it up for your input and feedback. So we're about 45 days in to our work, and we're on a really rapid timeline. We're trying to accomplish a whole lot in a relatively short amount of time in terms of delivering some strategic recommendations back to the city and the county that intersect against their budget cycle. So they have meetings beginning in August that'll affect how they allocate funding, and we want to make sure we're on time relative to that. We have about 45 members of our group. Several members are formerly homeless. We have, Ken is formerly homeless. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Ken, but I've heard you say that before. Ricky Red, who is usually here, serves on the MDHA board and also is a great advocate. And so we have divided into 6 different subcommittees. Our charge is really to do 3 things. 1, assess the current environment in Dallas. 2, look at other cities and how well they're doing, and particularly those that have been successful in trying to reduce the chronically homeless population and address homelessness issues. And then 3, make these recommendations. So in order for us to do this thoughtfully, we divided into 6 different subgroups. One group is not really it's substantive, but it's not really a strategically focused group, but it's a group that's critically important, and that's the group that Steve's on that was going to be here today, and it's community engagement group. And so they've been creating a series of forums around the city over the last month or so, and they're going to have several more over the course of the next month to listen to the community about these issues, range of issues, and try and be thoughtful in capturing the broad community voice. We're trying to really understand how to prioritize homelessness across the entire city, because it's an issue that hasn't been, I think, successfully prioritized in the past, and I think community voice is critical. The other groups that we have in play are street outreach, that's picking up issues relative to tent encampments, outreach, placement into housing opportunities, and helping basically those chronically homeless that are most vulnerable right now find their way to stability. And so that group's in play. We have a group that's focusing on prevention, how we deal with discharge from jails, discharge from hospitals, how we deal with those kinds of issues, and not only that, but how we also deal with our increasing poverty in Dallas, so that we can create mechanisms to prevent people from becoming homeless in the first place. We have a group that's spending a lot of time on housing. I think we recognize that housing is an important part of this. Ken serves on that group, and so trying to figure out how to get more housing, supportive housing in place. We have a group that's dealing with shelters, our shelter environments, our shelter capacity, and how those issues are being addressed. And then finally, we have a group that's dealing with data. We have this massive gap in data here in Dallas that other cities don't have. And so we're trying to figure out how to close that data gap. So all these groups are busy at work. We meet again next Tuesday. And hopefully we'll be like one step further to refining our focus. That'll get us to a point where we can get in front of the city council on August 3rd and deliver what we hope to be as, our best work product. And understanding that it's not the final and all, but at least gets our city and our county, more motivated and more focused and with clearer direction on how to solve what we all know is a very complex set of problems. So I don't know if that's helpful. Does it tee it up? But I'll be happy, I guess, then to just open up, answer whatever questions you might have, or just be a good listener.
Yeah, it was 45 people.
I think including the people that are like nonprofits and agencies that are serving to help us figure it out. There are probably 45 people on this commission. And the commission is a short-term thing. It's a thing that's only going to be around for about 10 times. It's going to come and it's going to go. Maybe there'll be a more residual process. I hope there will be. Something that is long-standing in terms of accountability in the community. But our task is to get focused and to deliver something in roughly a 90 day.
Okay, how do you go about taking those 45?
Each city council person identified someone from their district. So that was 14 people right there. We have heads of agencies that work with homeless. Larry James at City Square as an example. And so we have a group of those folks. We have community leaders that are good at real estate development, developing housing, that are put on our group. So it's a combination of all those things. And we identify people that are diverse and folks that have experienced
Okay, so you mentioned African American homeless.
I'd say probably 7, 8, something like that. Hispanic, we have Hispanic. It's a fairly diverse group.
I'm just doing it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Of the 45, how many are actually homeless?
I don't know how many are homeless now. Probably zero.
Many that have experienced homelessness.
We have many that have experienced homelessness, several that experience homelessness.
Do you feel it would be beneficial to at least have a fraction of people that are experiencing to be able to identify at a level where this needs to go as opposed to someone who's got housing? And I'm not saying that to be funny or rude, but if you're not physically walking it, at times you might not understand where the actual pitfalls are, because you're looking from the outside in versus the inside.
I think that's a fair point. I think that's a fair point. Our hope is to be good listeners at times like this, and the meetings are all open meetings, and so everyone has a chance to come and participate, but that's a good, fair point.
When you say open meeting, what does that mean?
It's
Available to anyone in the public who wants to come.
Okay, when I heard this, I come out, you encourage me, I come, the last 2 years, I never knew that. The last 2 years, I never knew that.
We'll be going for only...
We'll be going for only, had 2 meetings. So we have another meeting next Tuesday at United Way from noon to 2. Another meeting July 26th at United Way from noon to 2.
1800
Or
Lamar.
the main office down
Yeah,
there.
1800 Lamar.
Main office down
Yeah.
there. People in the window. When they used to be in the window.
Yes.
We actually had, I think probably, about 10 public the last meeting in the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Having these discussions, I see and I observe that, from my experience, shelters almost maximum capacity.
Right.
So when you have people out in the street.
Right.
So when you have people down in the city, on that Haskell, it's going down on that Haskell, down.
Right.
So, you got us all kind of like in turmoil. You're probably going to end up in Luke Sterrick. You're probably going to end up in Luke Sterrick.
Yeah.
So I heard something, I heard something about Grand Prairie, some kind of huge place we could put, where people could leave a picture tent, where people could go pitch a tent. I mean, that sounds, something like that. If you're gonna do something, instead of just closing, you got people on the street, no options, you got people on the street, get rid of something. Get rid of something.
Yeah, and a lot of people that are, originally, they really, they don't have really signal, they don't have access to know what you said later. And so they didn't, it became as a shock, they hooked up the sign, and the sign, yeah, the non-trespassing sign. Yeah, something as simple as that, of course, they ignored that. They were in deep now, now, my problem is, friends, that I've got friends, I mean, this is not like this, I've got one of these, that moves in, yeah, friends are really serious. I mean, hopefully they now, hopefully they have, relatives who's, they don't in the gym, they let us know. They don't in the gym, they let us know. Gosh, we're going to take the Cliff Hospital, get a jail. That inside jail. That inside. Where are they? And they're missing. And no one's missing. And no
It might be helpful to talk about the detail in a little more detail and give you a sense of kind of how, like, so you can communicate out to people that you see that. Yeah.
Before they close everything down, I know. Just find out. Are your friends accountable?
Yeah.
Do you know who they are? Which ones are they right? Which guys are on?
Right.
So the city makes a decision.
So the city makes a decision. The way this works is the city makes a decision, and they supposedly base it on health and safety reasons.
It's not good to have it.
It's not good.
So that's step one.
Yeah. So that's step one. And in a perfect world, in
city under I-45,
the 10th city under I-45,
MDHA helped.
MDHA.
The street outreach teams kick in right away.
The street outreach
And we
teams
get enough
kick in
people,
right away.
workers,
And we get enough
caseworkers
people, enough
to
workers,
engage,
caseworkers
in a
to
thoughtful
engage
way,
in a thoughtful way,
and
in a professional way.
and identify the needs.
And identify
To the
the
extent
needs,
possible, align those
and to the
needs
extent
with
possible,
services,
align those needs
or in a
with
perfect world,
services,
services and housing.
or in a perfect world,
And so
services and
we
housing.
can find a
And
housing
so
solution
we can find
for
a
those that
solution
are living in the
for those that are living in the tenant
streamlined.
community.
That's the way it's supposed to
Streamlined.
work.
That's the way it's.
The problem is we don't really have the housing stock.
Problem is
right
we
now.
don't really have the housing stock
To do
right
it.
now.
I guess
To do it.
I'm not, just some sort of database, letting them know, people know, we can all check in and just say, hey, when the air was there, I say it there.
If I may, I think I might be able to kind of address what your concern is, and I understand it. Unfortunately, in this particular instance, that's really hard to do without the individual that or the individual referring to saying, hey, I allowed you to tell this person my business. So they have to have official documentation to tell you, hey, this is where your friend is. Without that, we can't, by law, reveal to you where this person went without their permission. And so that's the conundrum. So if you have friends who are in these 10 cities that you want to try and keep track of, then you need to have that conversation with them today before the 10 cities and say, hey, this is my contact information. Please, if whatever happens, please contact me, because it's just the organizations don't even know. I wouldn't even know if I was one of the outreach workers, which my organization does. I wouldn't even know to ask this individual who did, hey, did you tell John where you were? I don't know. I don't know the connections.
I'll speak firsthand. Originally, the first one, we were all scrambling for each other's cell phone numbers, girlfriend phone numbers, and Facebook games, everything was getting fine. Facebook is the only way that I really came in contact with my newfounded family, because we're all equally homeless, equally broke, we love each other equally. And that's my point. And so when someone's missing, and so it's like, they just don't vanish, because they love us too much to do that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's saying that it's vanished, but we're looking at what's the solution. I think that your idea about the Facebook, self-created Facebook page is an excellent idea. Outside of that, I don't see a mechanism that the city or the county or the providers can offer you.
Well, I'm at a loss for because I've had a conversation with one of the reporters, the two reporters that wanted two people. So I just, I wanted to.
Well, now, to segue on what he's talking about, I had an unfortunate incident where I had a gentleman that I met at a homeless shelter. When I found out what actually his issue was, he had cancer. And what each person needs is what they call an advanced directive. Because when I had to put him in the Methodist hospital, because he was bleeding, and I didn't know how to handle it. And so when I took him to a hotel and went to check on him, he was on the floor bleeding. And so when I called 911, they took him to Methodist and they had to put him on life support. And there was no, as the gentleman was alluding to, there was no documentation that was available. And they were asking me, well, who's his next of kin? I said, well, I don't know. So I had to go back through his hotel room, try to go through his things, try to find contact information. And later on, he ended up passing away. But there was nothing to authorize anybody to do anything. That what he's saying is very important when you're homeless. You have to have some documentation somewhere. Somebody has to know something in order, because if you get sick, there's no, the people in the hospital don't have any way of trying to, they have to contact someone in order to get authorization to do whatever they need to do, and that's very important. So what he's saying, unfortunately, that got died, but so that's what we.
It would be helpful for us to think about developing a strategy. Think about developing a strategy for communication.
Yeah, I was just saying, and I'm Casey, and I think what we saw right here with these two gentlemen talking about being connected to other homeless individuals. These two gentlemen know more about what's happening in those two individuals' lives than the system does.
Right.
And if you could just think about it this way, there's kind of three components, and I'm just trying to make this simple. There are individuals, there are agencies, and there are the funders. The funders are both public and private. Public is the city, the county, the private are the individuals, the foundations, then there's shelters, the people that are groups that are serving the homeless community. And then there are people. People are both homeless individuals and individuals that are volunteers that are participating across that whole. And I got to tell you that the most connected, the most effective connection is among the homeless individuals. Everybody else has to up their game. We have to up our game to match what's happening right now. And the group I'm working with is pushing this idea of how to collect information and connect information with a view towards the best solution. And there's no single solution. It's not just housing, not just emergency shelter, it's not just a free lunch or a free haircut. It's everybody has a different range of needs and a different history. And what ultimately I hope comes out of this is that all of those people, the funders, the agencies, and the individuals can craft a comprehensive solution. We've got some work to do, but I'm encouraged. I'd just like to add, you're talking about how to collect information. Ken said that there's kind of there's a limit to things that you can force people to tell you. It's kind of, and there's both a legal, but more importantly, there's a legal, ethical level there,
I
right?
mean, you know, I understand because I was hoping that my friends in agreement, okay, one, my best friend. You know, he's not for everybody, this, what our own media, Adam P. Smith, the family knows who he is. Anyways, it's zero being proper. In my opinion, he's service on 7 years in federal prison. He came out, you know, homeless because he didn't kind of work and this and that. And he's actually a genius. Not because he's a bank robber, but he started out as an aerospace engineer and so he was just insane in a sense. Too smart for his own good. But anyways, he was to rob babies. He got rid of him. He got caught for 45 and that's that. But he's my best friend. And he's missing. He's out there. Everyone knows him. Media and everything. And I mean, I desperately miss him. And I don't know what to say. And I know that I can't even go to cleaners because I know that he would even tell me he's or not. And I'll tell you the very last time I saw him, I went, because it's so, excuse me, expletive, so hot out there. I searched for 3 days. I went through severe dehydration, malnourishment. Amazing to be in the middle of the desert out in downtown looking for my friend. 3 days. I ended up in the ER. I ended up having to go to Parkland on psychiatric ward. My story is my twin brother passed away. He died on my ass 2 years ago, and it was always 2 days leading up to the anniversary of anything related to my twin that my screw gets loose. You know, and that screw is in my head. So I know I'm at Northwestern University Medical School from psychiatry. I have a brain intact, and I know when I need to get help. So I marched my ass over to Parkland ER. I was up there for work. Guess what? I found Adam P. Smith right in the recliner, right behind me. And I was happy. He looked like a wreck. I cried. I held his hand. I told him I love him. He's straight. I don't have to leave him straight. I love him. He's my brother. Anyway, I miss him. And I just, it's not, but there's other people out there that were just like, you know what, you know, they don't, you know, they're meant to be all, they're homeless, but, you know, they're mental illness. Most of them did, in my opinion, you know.
Well, our goal would be a way to connect you and Adam more quickly, also with care, the proper care. And I would say if you were in Fort Worth, it would have been a different story. Because in Fort Worth, as soon as Adam goes into Parkland ER, any agency, any shelter that he had been to before would have known about it. And that's the kind of information, and I'm going to say that's the connection that we have to develop. The information is there, you have it, others have it, but it's the connection which is going to require some work.
So would you get with Dave Gruber afterwards? Because there's a way that, I mean, we try to, I know the DMHA tried its best.
I know the DMHA tried its best to into an HMI system when they closed. Into an HMI system when they closed.
And are doing the same thing relative.
And are doing the same thing relative to that.
And so maybe there's a way to get there.
Maybe there's a way
without
to get there without
passing the line that Ken's talking about.
Passing the line that Ken's talking about.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
That would be helpful.
My question is this simply this. With as many abandoned lots as there are, not within the city, but surrounding the city, has anyone thought of creating a designated campsite where people can have safety, if they want to dwell in their tents, let them have their tents, but have it in an area where they're safe, close to transportation, close to whatever it is that they need. You can have case management that comes out there if they want it, they can receive it. You can have showering and toileting areas right there, but they're not within the city and they're not causing a hazard to anyone. You have so much property that's undeveloped, nothing is there, and abandoned, and nobody's paying taxes on it, it's just sitting there. Why not create a designated camp zone? And if people would like to stay in that zone, for those who don't want Section 8, they don't want your supportive housing, and they don't want to go to a shelter, but I want my tent, I want my freedom, I want my space. Okay, well, we have a space here, like if you were renting a trailer space, and you're in lot 53, that's your space. That's your space. Why haven't we done something like that?
That's it then. Bucket of things being discussed.
Bucket of
In addition
things
to
being
the idea of
discussed. In addition to the idea of Dignity Field,
which is similar to that, only it's,
which is similar to that,
on the edges of Dallas.
on the edge of,
I guess, Grand Prairie.
Dallas.
Those conversations are.
Those conversations are
One thing that's important, because that is, a lot of people are asking that question. That is a good question. And so, like, even consider Dignity Field. What are the resources around it? Is there any public transportation there? Is there a hospital near it? Is there a grocery store here? Are we saying we want to put the people out where, oh yeah, let's find a place where there's nothing, and then they can use that. Well, there's nothing. There's a problem with nothing.
That's what I'm saying with transportation.
Yes, there's not a lot of spaces where there's nothing, where there's also infrastructure of all the things that you need to live successfully. And the other piece of it is that just like your example about, well, you can have a lot, you're in lot 23. Well, there is there's infrastructure for that too. Who's going to hook up the electricity? Who's going to clean up the trash? Who's going to do the disposal of? Who's going to manage all that? Who's going to police it so that illegal activity? Just because it's those kind of things. So yes, those things, all of these things, everything you imagine is on the table in conversations, but we got to make sure that we're thinking about all the things that come with it, and I just want to make sure that is raised when those ideas come up. Dignity Field especially has come up quite often in these kind of conversations, and I want to make sure people are thinking about the logistics of really making that successful. And then last but least, and I'll shut up for a moment, there is the part of having the kind of housing that someone would want to stay in is there's a choice involved in it. If I'm living, I don't know, in a tent city off Haskell, there may be a reason I'm living in a tent city besides that it's a available spot to be. I might have family members in that area, or I want to be in that area because I have a part-time job. So if you're telling me now, well, you got to close down Haskell, and you got to go to Dignity Field if you want to live like you choose to live, well, that might not be logistically work for me in my life. So the housing can't be just one place over here. It has to be some options throughout the community.
And you can create multiple, but the other side of it is you have a lot of people that have a lot of land that may be willing to donate some space.
Anybody wants to donate, call me. If somebody wants to donate
That needs to be investigated, like a estate plan. There'll be who are willing to donate in different manners and ways, and we need to really be talking to the philanthropists in the area. Who do we know that has excessive land? Who do we know that has a homestead that can't be touched? They're willing to give up a portion here or a portion there. It doesn't have to be all conglomerated into one area. Put it in multiple spots.
Is that one thing? I spent some time with some homeless folks out on I-35 and in Park Central, which is on the other side of Parkland. And folks one individual said to me in particular, he says, housing is not living. And I think what Ken is alluding to here is that just moving into a roof is not the same as living. And there are elements in some of these encampments that were more about community, which you're never going to just write a check and deliver. It takes a much more authentic and long-term plan. And I mean, I kind of think about our commission. It's not just for the homeless. It's the living. There are folks that might have a roof, but they're not living, and that's not good enough. Not good enough for me. I mean, I think you have to wrap around the care. They have to be care. They have to have what they have to have access to whatever it is they need to live. Housing is an important part of it. It's not an important part of it.
two things I want to mention. I hope we don't make this too complicated where nothing gets changed. Okay? Now, I see this a lot. You have these different committees, different meetings, and 6 weeks or 6 months later, nothing has changed. So if we make it too complex, nothing will change. So we have to try and keep it as direct and simple as possible. So we can say, oh, okay, now we see, well, this, the other has changed. Right. Okay, secondly, all these recommendations that we're getting, we give them to the city, what's going to change? What's they going to implement?
We give you some examples of that.
Examples of that. Just
A lot of things are already in place that are.
a lot of things are already in place
Conversations
that
are
are moving.
That won't even require the city.
That won't even
For
require
example,
the
the data system.
For example, the data system.
We expect in the next 18 months to have one of the most robust data systems in Dallas that's being developed for private
Dallas that's being developed.
It's called PCCIRIS.
It's called
Just left a meeting.
Just left a meeting.
And they've invested, and we've got a lot of funding, but it's going to require all the agencies, or expect all the agencies, including Parkland, Baylor, Children's, to be a part of one system. So leave the bridge.
You leave the bridge.
You're in the bridges system, but you're also in
You're in the bridges
system.
system, but you're also in Parkland system.
We know who you are, we know what your needs are,
we know what your needs are, we know
how to get in touch with you,
how to get
theoretically.
in touch with you.
So that's going to happen, I think.
So that's going to happen,
regardless
I think,
of whether the city does anything or not, because there's a
of
will
whether the
to
city
get
does
that
anything or not,
done.
because there's a will to get that done.
Folks in this room and others.
Folks.
So there are things, there are other things that are going to require the city
other things
to
that
step
are going
up.
to require the city.
Our job is to deliver.
Our job is to deliver
the information to the city
the
and the rationale for doing what needs to be done.
What needs to be
And it's going to be whether there's a public will,
whether there's a
and a
public
will on the part of our politicians,
and a will on the
prioritize the issue.
that prioritize the
And to
issue.
put allocation of resources
And to
against
put
it.
allocation of
And
resources.
some of these things will require
And
that
some
type
of these
of
things will
activity.
require
Things
that
like dedicating
activity. Things like
city
dedicating
of Dallas property to
City of Dallas
develop
property.
solutions.
To develop solutions.
That's going to require the city. And we can say it's a good idea, you need to do it.
And we can say it's a
But
good
then
idea,
they're
you
going to
need
have
to do
to
it. But then they're going to have to
buy it and vote on it and
Buy it,
prioritize it
vote on
in their
it,
budgeting process.
and prioritize it.
Hopefully it gets done.
Hopefully it gets done.
Ideas are the right ideas and they're
Ideas
smart,
are the right
persuasive,
ideas
and
and
they're
they're
community as a
persuasive
whole.
and the community as a whole.
All of us want to see it happen.
Want to see
So
it
what you're
happen.
saying is, so you guys are going to present a list of recommendations to the city, to the council. And then the council is supposed, what's the timetable and the goal and the step-by-step process to implement the change where you can see actual change?
Okay, so here's an example.
Okay, so here's an example. So
Experience we
in the
did
tenth
at
of camp
I-45.
experience we did at I-45.
First of all, it was a very difficult
First of all,
thing
it
to
was
do.
a very
We all know it's really
difficult thing to do. We all know it's really
Yeah.
difficult to close
But
it down.
we identified a strategy where we engaged an
identified
outreach
strategy
team.
where we
We
engaged
got
an
to know
outreach
the
team.
people. We had apartment locators out in the community.
We had apartment locators out in
identifying
the
housing
community.
and actually
Identifying
moving
housing.
a portion of that population
Moving a portion of that population
into housing. We're going to ask the city
into
to
housing.
ramp
We're going to ask
that
the city
up
to
immediately,
ramp that up,
to put more investment against
to put more investment
caseworkers,
against
outreach,
caseworkers,
support,
outreach,
and
support,
apartment locator,
and
services.
apartment locator,
So we can do that.
services.
That's an example of an asset that might
That's an
might
example of
happen.
an asset
And
might
if
happen.
we get
And
green light on August
If we get
3rd,
green light on August,
we might be able to actually start planning and
we might be
implement.
able to actually start planning and
To
implement.
piggyback on that exact example, so there's a dearth of street outreach workers to go out and find people and get them the documentation and such. The city has already sent out an RFP, which is just a proposal for, request for proposals for, I want to say, $1 million of funding to do just that. That's due into them by August 4th. So that is a concrete thing you put your finger on. There's some money that's coming to provide staffing and infrastructure to go out to the 10 cities, engage the people, help them get their documentation, get them eligible for this housing and such. So some of these things are happening. Obviously, maybe not obviously, our goal in this mission is to get it at a much grander scale and to address it at a much higher level so that we aren't saying, hey, we just, it took us 10 years, but we just provided 50 more apartments down the street. No, we want to be able to say, hey, it's been 10 years and we have increased 2,000 units of housing for this community.
And there aren't tent encampments in place because people don't have another option.
Got a question, normally I keep my nose out of things, but how much, most of the database are you, database, like a homeless report? Include like a homeless report?
It could, there's legal issues associated with that probably, but we can come up with that probably, but we can come up with. The note I just took is we've got to figure out a way to create communication. We've got to figure out a way to create communication. Links the community. Links the community. Yeah, but the system that we're talking about is the system that we're talking about is consent, where you provide your information, in a database that all of the agencies and the community responsible for dealing with the most vulnerable population can share, so they can share, so they can define the needs.
What would exactly be the purpose of this? Flesh out this.
Well, it's like person A can leave information for person, every person who can contact me, who could help me, and all that good stuff. Leave a message. It would be just a simple, like a cell phone, except all you need is a computer and
now
internet.
there's a website called homebaseforhousing.org that is a database that has pretty extensive in the community that you can go on and you can put your demographic information and then it will attach you to programs that you might be eligible for if you need housing. And that has the contact number and name of the person who runs that program. So it's not as clean as what you're envisioning, but that is at least there is something. It's being managed, and so let's say you are who you are, but you're homeless, and you put in my age is male and by myself. Well, it'll kick out these 5 programs have housing for people with your background. They may not have vacancies, but here's the name and the number, and you can call. And I get calls from that because of that resource all the time. Can we do an online? Can we do an online forum?
Can't we provide an online forum?
Permanent.
That's permanent.
Yeah, an online forum is permanent because I assume you might not. All the homeless people might have cell phones.
All the homeless people.
Certainly addresses. It's been on an address.
Certainly addresses. It's been on an address.
They can access bridge.
Computers at the bridge.
Computers here.
If they need to, they can access
if
computers
they have a
here.
desire to. And there would be a platform that you could go to. And it would be forum. And you could ask the question, I'm looking for.
And you could ask the question, I'm looking for.
This person, a friend, help me, and then someone says, yeah, I saw him yesterday.
I saw him.
He's fine. Here's where he is.
He's fine. Here's where he is.
3 days,
Hi, Robert. I'm glad you're here at the bridge. One thing, since the bridge opened, really, how the city council don't care about the homeless. I did 25 speeches about the pavilion, no air conditioning. Really, really asinine. 5-6 years. 250 people, no air conditioning. You must have lost your mind. I don't know if you were there. That is really asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. That's how you care about the homeless. I did 25 speeches, man. 25. You know, that's ridiculous how you care about the homeless down here. And the bridge stinks. I just want to let you know. And one more thing. Mark Clayton said to me, I was listening on TV, he said that on the face of the homeless, and he mentioned speaking in front of city council. Mayor Rollins mentioned that the city council won't care about that. One more time. You got to bring it. One more time. All of you are scared to talk in front of city council and county commission. Like we do with the Metro Dallas Homeless Alliance. Like we do with the Metro Dallas Homeless Bus Pass. We went in front of the board. Before that, we tried to do it individually, did not work. You want to get heard, Mary Jane said you got to get heard. This is okay, but you need to get together. All of you are scared, maybe lose your jobs, but I tell you, it works.
They're doing it August 3rd.
No, well, I'm just saying, over, you know what I mean? Keep it up. I had 25 speeches. That's ridiculous, that's what I do to the pavilion. That's really, really asinine. 95 degrees, it was all talk. But I'm trying to say is, you gotta keep on doing it, like nobody's doing. And they're saying, yeah. I want Zach Thompson to get Marvin Jones there. You know what I'm trying to say? So you gotta get Marvin Jones. You know what she's right? Why don't you get him there and speak in front of the homeless commission? And Mary Jane's out there, $2,600 a year. You can't beat it. City council will win over it, but you got to do it. But don't be scared to talk. I know people who get talkers. This person knows he'll talk about. He's pretty scared to do it. That's all he said. You want to bring it, but this is okay. But man, you got to get on there.
Yeah, I intend to bring it. I can't get fired. I'm a volunteer, so they can't. I'm not worried about losing my job.
I'm just saying is,
we won't be timid. We're going to bring it.
Mark Clayton gave us a very good, were you there after Mark's graduation? Yeah, he's very good.
He said bring it on.
Well, yeah, how can I do it? I do it all the time, yeah. I'm trying to say is, the mayor says that the city council, chastised the mayor, the last city council, for not caring, like we're a third world country, the homeless. So what I'm saying is, you want to do this, you got to show your interest. Not just me alone. You got to be in front of everybody, cameras, like they're great ball players, you want to shine where the great lights are, where most people are, like the greatest ball players. You got to do it here. Simple as that. Not shoot it down the drain.
I anticipate we'll bring it.
I mean, everybody on that commission, needs to say 40 people, not just one meeting, 43, 40. Got to do it. County commissioners also. All right, we'll see. You stay down.
I want to say something that I think is really important. Because a lot of times in these meetings, the bridge comes up. And God knows, I think that this bridge has some opportunities, but I think it gets unfairly in these kind of venues just criticized. So, because I never hear the positive things of the bridge. So let me talk, see, there you go. So let me talk about the one that I know most personally. All right? I spent 8 months at the bridge. And I got housing. I got a job through references. I know I'm looking at some people in this room who I, as a homeless individual, gave some assistance to, who got some stuff from the bridge. And so the bridge is not it's just a nexus of negativity. It has served some purpose. Now, does it serve everybody in the way they want to be served? No. But you name me. A lot of times when we're in these conversations, people say, well, I can't believe in that because, hey, there's a problem. There's a 10% problem. There is not a perfect solution to any of these things. So let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater here. All right? That's number one. Number two is just because you are not aware that in-depth, clear communication about what the issue is and who is at fault and who has to do more is happening, doesn't mean it's not happening. And so a lot of times people think, well, this is what I want you to do. You need to do this, and you're not doing anything if you're not doing this. Well, I'm sorry, I'm speaking for myself. I'm out there. I know people are out there talking to the mayors, talking to the county commissioners, talking to the councilmen on an individual in group settings, and we will continue to do so. I'm not afraid to say what I believe is going on to anybody. And so I don't know who these mystery people are who are afraid. I haven't met, but I can speak for myself. So let's be clear. These things are happening. I respectfully disagree with the gentleman before.
We're almost out of time, I think.
Right, so I just want to add to that, and Robert's the man, and he always gives his opinion. But we have worked really hard, so this is your first time, we worked really hard. When we first started doing this, this was a shelter and agency bash session, and we worked really hard to make it not that, so that it is constructive, and so if you're here for your first time, and you think I'm not coming back, you're just going to bash me, that's not what we do in this time, but we do want it to be where people can share freely. We're just not going to spend the whole hour bad-mouthing the bridge or any agency that's here. So we worked really hard. But I think that perspective and then Ken's perspective, to me shows, I just have a question for you guys. Are you working for, because to me we've learned there's no silver bullet that's going to solve all of this. And I think, so he had a terrible time, Ken had a good time. How are we working for whatever plan you're presenting that's going to be more individually focus, because I think to say everything across the board, this is what we're going to do, city, this will solve homelessness, will work, it's got to be something that can be fixed for each individual. So there has, whatever the plan is, it has to be tweakable, to make it apply for each individual that's going through, because everybody is different in every situation.
Huge important takeaway for me here is that we can't create one solution, because everyone has different needs and different ideas.
I talked to Zachary Thompson, he said you're going to Marvin Jones. Please talk to Zachary Thompson and follow up on it. Everyone says yes, 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 but that's it. Yes, yes, yes. Zachary Thompson says he'll get Marvin Jones to speak in front of you. I said, Captain, get in front of your get in front of your, and see if you can at least look into it, brainstorm, at least look into it, brainstorm. Try. But they say yes, 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 and they just ignore me. Yes, yes, yes. Please do it. Zachary Thompson and Marvin Jones. Zachary Thompson and Marvin Jones.
My last question is this. What are the criteria for someone who wants to get on the commission who is experiencing homelessness? Because I really feel that that's a very important component to what you all are doing. You need to have some homeless voices on the commission. And I can tell you this may not, how does one go about that?
You're welcome to come to any meeting or any homeless individual. So that's one thing. And you can be heard, and you can learn and listen. We're about 2/3 of the way. Probably into our work right now, and so we're probably into our work right now. So we kind of focus on wrap up. But there will be ongoing. This is not the end of it. This is not the clear recommendation that we'll have. Clear recommendation is for a system. Different than the system we have right now. Different than the system we have right now. Inclusive. To be an ongoing body. Can encompass the voice of the people who are actually living in the homeless encampments and living in the homeless encampments.
Where do we try to schedule of the meetings that are being held?
We have a website, Bob. We want to do a website, Bob. We want to
out there, but the meetings that we have that are scheduled coming. We have a meeting on Tuesday. It's at United Way. We talked about that earlier. It runs from noon to 2. And we have one on the 26th of July, again at United Way, and again from noon to 2.
I think publish comes out of city.com as well.
Yeah, and there's a website as well, DallasCommissionOnHomelessness.org.
And those would be the 2 meetings you have before you present.
That's right. So those are the last 2 meetings we have before we present before August 2nd.
And on that day when you present, are they going to vote immediately on your?
I don't know until we kind of get the recommendation. Until we kind of get talk to the mayor and talk to the mayor. Not sure what their appetite will be. Not sure what their voting on that day. I'll know more in a couple of weeks once this thing gets a little more clearly.
Okay, communication, information. I'd like to suggest momentum, follow-up, having this bi-monthly meeting, not bi-monthly.
This meeting here?
Yes, let's go bi-monthly for NDHE meetings. Okay.
It might be helpful in the short term. We really don't have in the short term because we really don't mechanism to capture the voice. It might be helpful as this gets rolled out. To step up the number of of opportunities. Because the information, we're gonna get to a point where in a couple of weeks.
We'll
have some information to
have some information
share.
to
And get feedback, and there'll be ongoing implementation.
There'll be ongoing implementation.
So I think that makes some sense, Bob.
So I think that makes some
If I
sense.
could add to that, and, you know, perhaps as we move forward in this process, we should plan to come back here and sort of, you know, deliver information as it develops. I still agree.
Well, it's always the second Friday of the month. Let's add another
We can work on it, but just see what is happening, because obviously we have to coordinate with the library.
Yes, it's possible. Let's go ahead and just get something in motion now, you know. I'm sure, anybody opposed to bi-monthly here?
I can make that.
I can make that one.
Here we are, we're already in the process.
Okay, David Gruber, you heard it.
David Gruber, you heard it.
We'll pass this information on.
We'll make sure we get the space.
Make sure we get the space, we'll notice you about it.
In the 3 or 4 articles, in the Observer, and a couple times in the California News, and the Delegate, they were talking about 10 city, I saw that they said that it's a military base that's empty, and that it may be, and they could utilize that for homeless people like that. I haven't signed anything about it, I haven't heard about it, so is that still?
That's what they were talking about earlier, out by Grand Prairie,
on
the edge of Dallas.
On the edge of Dallas.
That's the old military base.
That's the old military.
It's still in the conversation.
It's still in the conversation.
All right, we gotta wrap up.
This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please leave comments below, or like, follow, or subscribe to us and get notices of all our videos. We love it, even when you call.